Hello everyone, this is a review for the Lenovo Yoga 7i 2022 edition. The version I have includes an i7-1255U processor, 16GB of RAM, 1TB SSD, and the 2.2K LCD display. I got this for just under $1,000 using the recent discount, another coupon, and a student discount. If you get anything out of this review, I would suggest that you know this laptop is a solid laptop for the price I got it for, and I probably wouldn't get it for anything above $1,100. First setting up was pretty easy. The fans were on, but I received it hot and I plugged it in. OneDrive automatically set itself up, which was slightly annoying. Windows 11 is Windows 11, take that how you please, and it came with a bit of bloatware, including McAfee and some Lenovo applications. Updating the computer was about as bad as you'd expect, with 50 Windows programs needing to be upgraded from the Microsoft Store, and many Windows updates as well. I also went on the Lenovo website and manually updated the BIOS. Fan noise was pretty good. I noticed the fans coming on some of the time when doing mild tasks, but it's pretty quiet. If you're in a room with an air conditioner or a fan, you will not notice. Fans at max are quiet as well. It never sounds like a jet engine, unlike my old Zephyrus G15. I played Vampire Survivors on it, and it was a pretty enjoyable experience with little fan noise, and the keyboard got just a bit hot, but it was fine. My fingers get sweaty easily, so that was the case here. I also tested GTA 5, and on normal settings I was getting less than 60 FPS, but it wasn't a terrible experience. The display is pretty good, with the resolution being fine, a great balance between battery life and resolution. The touchscreen is a touchscreen, and the pen works fine. It's not anything special. I have the Lazarite M Pen Dark Black pen, and it works pretty well. The palm rejection works most of the time, but it has been a bit finicky, especially in Microsoft Word. The play here is probably not to use Microsoft Word for marking up PDFs. Yes, you can open this computer with one hand. I don't know how they did it. If you're wondering about the brightness, it is good enough. At 300 nits, it doesn't sound great, but the brightest levels are going to get you through most situations, and I could even read it decently when sitting in a car. The keyboard is good. I find no complaints with it, and I like how it has a function lock. I think the big arrow keys will do nicely in the future. The trackpad is a little bit of a different story. It's a bit loud, and I suspect it's slightly loose. Not enough to start a write over. Sometimes the click is satisfactory, sometimes it feels cheap. The slipperiness of the trackpad is good, almost as good as a MacBook one. It can click almost anywhere on it. Right now, writing this review, it is giving me satisfying enough clicks. And this is a little off script, but yes, it has consistently been giving me better clicks today. And the palm rejection is phenomenal, and I could barely... The only time it has acted up slightly was when I was playing Rocket League. Just very slightly. And that was just when I had the very tip of my thumb resting on it. But it'll reject your palm 99% of the time. It is very good. The port selection is great for an Ultrabook, with two Thunderbolt 4 ports that can both charge, a full-size HDMI port, and a microSD card slot, a headphone jack, and one full-size USB-A port. One can only wish for one more USB-A port, but I have a hub, so it barely matters. The power button is on the right side. The speakers are pretty good. Not as much bass as I'd like, but that's normal for laptops. The tweeters are in front, so when watching things in tablet mode, the audio is not going to be as clear as it is in normal mode. The Yoga 9i addresses this with a rotating soundbar, but that's not this device. The webcam is okay. It's full HD, but it's still not the best. Frame rates improve in lighter conditions. It has a privacy switch on the top as well. It has both a fingerprint and IR, which have both worked pretty well so far. The build seems pretty nice. It's made out of some sort of metal, I'm guessing aluminum. I got the score of 6144 multi-core on Cinebench R23, which could be better, but at least it's better than last gen. With some help from a friend online, I was able to use throttle stop to push the CPU to its max, getting up to 96 degrees, and I was able to get 8483 multi-core. According to throttle stop, the CPU cores are idling around in the 30 degree range, with apps such as Word, OneNote, Brave Browser, and throttle stop open. That's pretty good coming from 50 degrees idle on the Zephyrus G15. I do not have enough experience to give a good opinion on battery life. Lenovo Vantage gave me a little under 9 hours left at I believe 80%. Windows has given me anything between 4 and 17 hours. I am very picky on battery life, and so far this has not been the best experience. But it should be able to get you through the day, especially with battery saver mode on. I will probably be updating the comments to see if anything drastically changes, but so far it is giving roughly estimated anywhere between 6 and 9 hours when it's not doing anything crazy. I do have a couple of nitpicks before this review concludes. One is the grinding noise when you close the laptop. Now, hold on. This only happens if you close it with a lot of pressure from one hand closing on the back, as shown here. If you close it with two hands or on a desk, or even one hand carefully, this does not happen. If this happened in more scenarios, I'd probably return it. The screen is overall stiff and does not wobble too much even when writing on it in regular mode. When you close it, it's slightly unsatisfying as there is no rubber ring, so it's metal on glass. I would be careful and do not slam it. Another nitpick I'm finding is that the brightness wavers a bit for seemingly no reason randomly. You can turn off automatic brightness, but it says it's to improve battery. I don't know how much battery you're saving here, but I am going to turn it off because it is a bit annoying. Another problem I found is a very slight buzzing sound coming from, I think, the bottom speaker. It's really quiet, and I'm not sure what it is, so I'm just going to ignore it for the time being. You do not hear this in normal situations. You just hear it when you're listening for the fans, when you put your ear up to it. The warranty on this laptop didn't show up at first, but it is now after I contacted the support. I did also purchase a year of accidental protection, and that isn't showing up, I think. I'll probably get this figured out by the time this is live. Overall, this is a great laptop so far. I'll probably not make another video on this, but I'll update it in the comments if anything changes. If you can get this for under $1,100, it's a great 2-in-1 if you're into that sort of thing. The reason I got it was to take handwritten notes in college, but I also ordered an older iPad Pro with an Apple Pencil and a paper screen protector. I prefer the iPad hands down. But if you want one device that can do it all, besides heavy gaming, this is the one. I've done a lot of research on laptops. If you're looking for something more powerful, I recommend looking at the ROG Flow X13. If you don't need 2-in-1, I recommend looking at the MacBook Air 2020. Those are my personal opinions, and do not take them very seriously. I hope you enjoyed this review.